The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss! The incredible turnaround by the New York Mets has taken them to their first National League Championship Series in 9 years.
That's absolutely right. The Mets did advance to their first National League Championship Series in 9 years. But to say that this was an easy season for the team would be highly inaccurate. And I truly mean, like, highly inaccurate. And when you dissect what happened in the season, like, it truly was one of the most up and down seasons in the history of the New York Mets. First of all, if you're watching this video in the future, no, the Mets did not win the World Series. No, they did not make the World Series. As we can see in the NL Championship Series, they lost in 6 games to the Los Angeles Dodgers. They could not keep up with them. The Dodgers were simply just a better team for them. However, they did make it really close after a pitiful start. Now, when they say an incredible turnaround, this means you have to start off playing really bad baseball. You have to get off to one of the worst starts possible, and the Mets did that. They started their season off 0-5 at home. 0-5 at home. They started a season off about as poorly as you could start a season. It is very rare to go from 0-5 to the playoffs. Mets become, I think it was 4th 0-5 team to make playoffs. Like, yup. The Mets were the 4th ever team to start 0-5 and make the playoffs. 74 Pirates did it, the Reds in 95, Rays in 2011, and sure enough, the 2024 New York Mets did it. But then they played better baseball. 5 games is a short amount of time. They played better baseball. They got all the way up to a 12-8 record. They played pretty well against the Dodgers. And here comes the tailspin. They finished April 15 and 14, which, is solid. Like, solid first 25 games, starting the season off above 500. You can maintain that momentum. Like not really momentum, but like you're starting the season off. Your first 31 games, the Mets are over 500 at 16 and 15. The rest of May, an unmitigated disaster, as they fell from 1 game above 500 to, at a point, 11 under. They fell as low as 22 and 33. It was, just really bad what was happening to the team. They were blowing major leads left and right. Like, this game, they had a 2-run lead in the top of the 9th, and they blew it. They had a 9-5 lead in the middle of the 9th, as well as a 7-2 lead at one point, and they blew it. This game, they led at one point, they had a 3-0 lead, they blew it. This game, they at one point, and I think after 7, they led 6-2, and they blew it. They blew it. They blew a ton of games. This one, they led 2-0 after, I think, 7. They blew it. They were just blowing leads left and right. Now, there were some nice comebacks mixed in during this time, but there were just a ton of blown leads that you cannot let happen to your team in Major League Baseball. They did finish the month off with some dignity at 24 and 33, only to lose their dignity and go to 24 and 35 off of yet another 9th inning blown lead. Like, the Mets were just blowing leads left, right, and center. They were blowing save opportunities. They were just stinking. The Mets were just, consistently stinking throughout, this time frame. And obviously, it all comes to a head right here. And I was going to do a montage, but I got these clips and it just wasn't working. But, with
a Will Smith home run capped by a Shohei Ohtani. Well, what is first?
Whoa.
Jorge Lopez
responded by
by
tossing his glove up.
That's how you know that things are getting really bad here. However, the Mets came back. In this game, they did not blow the lead, somehow. And they improved. And again, they were making some nice comebacks, too. This game, they trailed 3-0 at one point. This game, they were trailing 2-1 in the bottom of the 9th, and they walked it off. The Mets are doing a lot better at this point in the season. We even see them going on this amazing 7-game winning streak, and, them not really looking back for a lot of it. They're getting momentum. The Mets got momentum. Obviously, the Diaz suspension put them in a bit of a tailspin, But, July 8th is the last time they're below 500 when they're 44 and 45. From this moment on, the Mets are just up, 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 up. We see the amazing turnaround in June. To finish May 9 games under 500 and to go up to then being only one below. They were at one point in June 11 under 500, and there was a point in June where they were 40-39 and above 500. Obviously, this game they blew a 6-1 lead, and this game was also a kick in the teeth for the Mets as they had a runner on third in the bottom of the 10th with only like one out, and they blew it. But we can see the comeback. They demolished the Yankees. They just kept winning series, or at the very least splitting them. And they went to the All-Star break at 49 and 46 with some dignity. By this point, 55-48, they're the top wild card after a convincing 8-4 win over the Braves. However, it's the Mets. They're going to enter into a tailspin. They're just going to enter into a tailspin, and you know it. You know this team is going to collapse. They collapsed hard in August. They fell to 62-59, and in this game, they blew a 5-0 lead against the Athletics. They could not make a comeback. This game, they were actually trailing 1-0 at this point. Every other game, they failed to complete a comeback. If they were losing, like they lost the game. This was their next comeback. They did trail 2-1 at one point. After that, their next comeback for the New York Mets wasn't until the 29th when they were trailing 2-1 at one point. They were struggling to make comebacks. For the Mets, it was simple. If you do not let them get in front, and like in August, they really could not string together back-to-back wins until the very end when they were playing the measly White Sox. Like, they could not get to 8 over 500 until August 31st. And again, I really thought that was going to happen a lot sooner than that. But credit to the Mets, they go on a nice 9-game winning streak to put themselves at 78 and 64. And from being 4 games back in the playoffs after this devastating loss to the Diamondbacks, they were able to get right back into it. They had some losses here or there, but, they also had some really just clutch moments that we saw. Even August had some, but especially September. This game, Blue Jays take a no-hit bid to the 9th, only for Lindor to crush their dreams and tie the game. And, we saw some of these, major moments occur. And, obviously, like, the true Mets magic that we're going to remember the season for, even though it was a very magical season for the Mets, like the Mets-Braves 8th and 9th innings, it's just one of the craziest things you're ever going to see. Like, we can even look at Mets-Braves highlights. We can even look at them for a bit. Obviously not a lot, because of this, but like, it's getting late.
We're all busy. Busy taking notes and busy making notes and busy turning
logs. See that, getting to the... You look at this and you can see...
Hit by Spencer, the fair ball past the Dizing Urshela and down the left field line. Taylor around third scores easily. The throw is hurled to second by Laureano, not in time to get Alvarez. A double and a run batted in. The Braves lead is cut to 3-1.
Oh my God, these stupid ads! I can't
Are you
deal with
interested
them.
in learning more about the Church of Jesus Christ?
Come on in. Starling Martin.
And that
And 4 straight hits for New York. Lindor drives it a run.
to right to the Mets, Jose.
He has been hot, one of the hottest hitters in baseball over the last few weeks with that 20-game hit streak.
Poke the other way. That's a base hit for Iglesias. Marte around third, heading home. The throw by White is cut off, and the Mets have tied the game. All the way to third goes Lindor. It's 3-3.
Lindor is at third.
Swinging a high fly ball, fairly shallow center. Harris settles under it. Lindor tags. Harris makes the catch. Here comes Lindor. Throw to the plate. Cut off by Olsen. A sacrifice fly for Mark Vientos. It is 4.
Clocks one to deep right field. White goes back, takes a look, and it's out of here. Brandon.
And you might think that the Braves wouldn't put down resistance, but they did. The Braves began to come back. We saw that happen
Against them. Now it's Ozzie
You know, we saw the
climbing in.
Braves come back.
Everybody up at Truist Park. That ball is hit out to left. Nimmo is back. Let's go! The Braves are going to grab the lead back. Let's go!
You know, we saw them, but the Mets were not laid down and up.
Whitmer.
Ball well hit right center. Harris going back. It's on the way. It is gone. Into the Braves bullpen in right center field. Francisco Lindor has an MVP moment, whether he wins one or not.
Insanity again! Francisco Lindor flips the script.
This is an unbelievable baseball game. The Mets have taken an 8-7 lead here in the ninth inning.
Two teams.
And again, you know, they really battled. And then the wild card series was even more epic. We saw Pete Alonso save the day when they were down 2-0 in Game 3 and looked for sure like they were going to lose and the season would be over. The Brewers had a 94% chance to win and they blew it. And this was after, you know, the Mets came back in Game 1 and the Brewers came back in Game 2. NLDS, the Mets make a big 8th inning comeback in Game 1, blow a 3-0 lead in Game 2. Game 3, they have an immediate convincing start, and in Game 4, we have Lindor's grand slam. Obviously, NLCS was disappointing for the Mets, but, like, to be in a position where you start off 24-35 and still make it this far, like, MLB worst records to make the playoffs. Like, we can even take a look. The Mets had one of the worst 50-game starts, and one of the, hang on. Slow starts in the main playoffs. Okay. You know, and we look at this, like, first 50 games for wild card winners, like, look at how low the Mets are at 21-29, and they got further down. For wild card winners, you know, even for the first half, 40-41 is not a great start. They still did it anyway.